It's the NFC Championship game in Seattle, Rams vs Seahawks. There are 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter and the Rams are deep in Seahawk territory. They're on the 6-yard line, but it's 4th and 4. Matt Stafford needs to save the day for the Rams, or else the Seahawks will be going to Super Bowl 60. This is how one play can alter the course of a season. The Rams' high-flying offense has won them a lot of games this year and carried them through the playoffs. Stafford has had an MVP season and Sean McVay has been at his best calling the shots. In this game, the Rams have been doing well offensively and they've been doing well on this drive, but on 4th and 4 they need a play to save their season. McVay's play call makes a lot of sense here. You have to throw the ball on 4th and 4 and you've got two of the best receivers in the league. It's a fairly safe bet. Davante Adams, the receiving touchdown leader in the NFL this year, has an inside release out. This read is paired with a flat from the running back. Superstar receiver Puka Nacua has a pivot, Terrence Ferguson has a double move, and Kanata Mumpfield has a fade. The progression on this is fairly simple. Stafford needs to look to the left first. If Davante wins on his route, that's the first read. But because of the inside release, he's cleared the corner away, meaning that the running back should be open. On the other side of the field, you can take the fade if you like the matchup outside. If you want to read the concept to this side of the field, it's based on whether the safety bites on Puka Nacua on the pivot. If the safety doesn't, you take Puka. If he does, then you rip the double move in behind him in the back of the end zone. This double move can also act as a third read on the left side concept as Stafford works across the field with this progression. This gives Stafford options either side of the field that should be there. It's a good red zone concept because of how the timing of the routes are able to manipulate defenders into making the wrong decisions. But the Seahawks defense are elite and Mike McDonald has something up his sleeve. Mike Mack has led an elite unit all year, but against the Rams they've had a fairly rough go of it, especially a few weeks ago in Seattle. But on this drive, they've gotten the Rams into 4th and medium, with one stop going a long way to sending them to the Super Bowl. Defensively, Mike McDonald has done a brilliant job at calling this and disguising his coverage. The Seahawks have 7 men at the line, looking like a heavy blitz and man coverage across the board. This is intended to influence where Stafford looks to go with the ball first. However, quite cleverly, the Seahawks only rush 3, with Nick Emenwari, Ernest Jones and Byron Murphy rushing Stafford. This means that they've dropped 8 into coverage, but the coverage they run is absolutely fascinating. Josh Jobe is in press man coverage on Adams, Reek Woolen is in press man coverage on Mumpfield, Puka Nacua is getting the Calvin Johnson treatment with both Derek Hall and Kobe Bryant manned up on Puka. Hall here is going to take any in-cut and Bryant is going to stay outside. Devon Witherspoon has Ferguson in man coverage in the slot. DeMarcus Lawrence has a hook curl assignment and Julian Love has the flat on that side of the field. Finally, Leonard Williams is in a zone over the middle. This sort of coverage doesn't really have a name because it's some sort of mix of cover 0, cover 1 and cover 3 all at the same time. It took me ages to figure out what the hell was going on. Matt Stafford had 1 second to process this. The way the Seahawks attempt to simulate pressure and drop 8 into coverage is a really gutsy call here on 4th down. But Matt Stafford isn't really a threat with his legs and the Seahawks knew this. They didn't really have to keep him contained in the pocket, so as long as they played sound coverage, they would be fine. But what followed was defensive football as if it were designed by Da Vinci. Stafford takes the snap and realises that the defense have dropped out of the blitz and that he's got time to throw. We don't need to go over protection because 5-on-3 is easy for an NFL offensive line, especially when 2 of them aren't even defensive linemen. His first look is to go to Adams, but Josh Jobe presses with perfect technique, jamming the release and then staying on Davante's hip as he tries to break out, locking up that read. The 2 zone defenders occupy both sides of Kyren Williams, meaning there isn't a window to throw that ball into. Perfect defense on one side of the field by the Seahawks. Mumpfield got locked up by Woolen on the fade, giving no space to fit a ball in at all. Then the really clever part of the defense is using that double team on Nacua, using the defensive end and a safety. With Derek Hall playing underneath and inside, whilst Kobe Bryant plays over the top and outside, it means Puka Nacua's got no space to operate. This, though, leaves Devon Witherspoon in man coverage on Ferguson in the slot. It's a tough assignment for any corner to cover so much space in the red zone, but Witherspoon is one of the best in the league for a reason. Ferguson didn't run a great route here. He didn't manage to sell Witherspoon with a step outside, and he allowed him to get back to play the ball. But, taking nothing away from Witherspoon, he did an incredible job on this play against the double move. His ability to flip his hips after the second break and use his recovery speed was incredible, and it is the reason he was able to get the breakup on the play. And a big shout out to Nick Emamori for getting pressure on Stafford as a safety against their left tackle. He managed to influence Stafford just enough to speed up that decision making. Stafford threw a good ball and it was the right read, but because the coverage was incredible, it fell incomplete and the Seahawks got their fourth down stop. This play encapsulates great defense versus great offense. I mean, it's why you have two teams in a championship game. The Seahawks proceeded to run 4 of the 5 remaining minutes and send themselves to Super Bowl 60. Mike Macdonald is a defensive genius, and they've built a roster around him to reflect that defensive mastery. For the Rams, it's another year of heartbreak, but with Stafford coming back next season and a really young roster, their Super Bowl window definitely isn't closed. This 4th and 4 was a turning point for two teams hunting for the highest honour in the sport. And because of this moment, the Seahawks prevailed and they get a chance to beat the Patriots to become Super Bowl champions in San Francisco. If you've enjoyed what you've seen, consider watching this video about how one play in the second quarter of the AFC Championship game ended the Super Bowl dreams of the Denver Broncos.